Hi guys, welcome back. So tonight we're going to tie a fly that seems fairly popular these days in general, which is the blob. Not a huge pile to tie in these things, but there are certain considerations which will help to make yours neater. So you can use a specific blob hook. A lot of them are kind of short shanked, quite wide gaped. There's one called an elite blob hook that seems fairly good for the job. Also carp type hooks. This is a Camazan B130 in a size 10, which is also a very strong hook, and I've always liked Camazan for their quality as such. So what I'm going to do is I'm using a heavy hot orange thread, and once it's on, I am going to run a bit of super glue onto it just to secure all down, so hopefully nothing will spin round. Now, what I'm going to do here now is to use this stuff, which is a UV enhancer, and I'm going to take a strand of that. I'm going to double that over and then double it again, so it's 4 strands thick. And then I'm going to tie that on to our body, sort of across its middle, and fold that back and tie back to the bend of the hook. And that'll give us 8 strands of UV enhancer as a tail, and then cut it off at whatever length suits yourself. So we're now going to put on the FRITZ. So this is one of these sort of gel core type FRITZ things, and if you look closely, there is actually sort of a direction to it. Now think of it as a hackle. So if we look at our standard hackle, the fibers run in one way backwards like a wet fly. So as a wet fly, I'd be tying that on so that the hackle's sort of swept backwards. The same thing with your FRITZ. You want to have a look at it and see, is there a sort of V nature to the fibers in it, and pick the end, which would be like the point of the arrow or the point of the V, which to me in this one is this end. And so I'll just strip a little bit of my core, tie it in, and then when the core is tied in, I will tie that right back to where we tied off our tail. So as I wrap this thing, then I'm going to be thinking of it as a hackle. And what I'm also going to do here is I'm just going to put in a little bit of clear varnish, and that to me will help secure the thing. So once I get it started to wrap, what we want is real tight wraps with the core close together. So you could just wrap it on. It may go on properly for you, but what it'll tend to do is sort of twist. So what I'm doing here is I'm keeping it under tension, and then I'm going to pull it through my finger and thumb. And what that does is it pulls all the fibers back onto one side. So through my fingers and thumb. Then hold it in place while you get the hold of it again. That'll stop it from becoming loose on the wraps, because if it comes loose then it can slip over itself, backwards, forwards, whatever, probably backwards. So each wrap nice and tight through the fingers and thumb, stroke it back, pinch it in place, under, keep this nice and stretched. You don't want to snap, but hopefully stretch it to its limit, sort of. And by stroking it back, hopefully we don't overwrap fibers. So now at the front where we're going to tie in our head. So what I want to do is get my thread in through the fibers. I'm wiggling there because I don't want to catch them and tie them down as such and get them sticking out in funny directions. stroke everything back. And when we have a small neat head done, then I'm going to flip that. In behind. And you can use a whip finish tool here or whatever suits yourself. To me, I do it with my hands. So now, having tied that in, I'm going to get my scissors in close to the bottom of the tie-in and just push them through it. And the same with my tie-in thread. Pull all this back and I'm going to super glue the head. And if you get anything into the eye of the hook, then before it dries, take a hackle and pass it through it, and that'll clean that out. So that is our hot orange blob tied. As I said, not a huge pile to the tie-in of one, but there are things that'll help you make it that bit neater and more uniform. So hopefully it was some use to you. As I said, if it was, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and until next time, tight lines and thanks for watching.